Betrayal does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it arrives as a silence, the silence where love was supposed to be. I know that silence. I have lived inside it twice. What I found on the other side was not what I was told to expect. There is a particular kind of woman who gives everything, not because she was asked to, because she did not know any other way to love. I was that woman, and I watched twice as everything I gave was not enough to make someone stay. Not the loneliness of being without people, the loneliness of being among them, your own children, and still feeling invisible, still feeling like a burden they had not chosen to carry. If you have felt that, the exact weight of sitting in a room full of people you raised and feeling completely alone, then you have been carrying something very heavy. Something no one around you has ever once asked about. By the time this is over, you may finally understand something about yourself that you have spent years trying not to look at directly. What I am about to tell you is something I kept private for a very long time. I am not sure I was ready to say it before now. The first time it happened, I was standing in the kitchen. The children were asleep. The dishes were done. The house was quiet in the way a house gets quiet when something inside it has already ended. And I understood completely, without any drama, that the person I had built my life around had been somewhere else. Not just in body, in everything that mattered. I did not scream. I did not break anything. I stood very still, and I thought, if I make a sound, I will never stop. So I did not make a sound. I put the children to bed the next morning. I packed their lunches. I smiled at the right moments. And I carried what I now knew completely alone for a very long time. What no one tells you about that kind of betrayal, the quiet kind, the kind that arrives without witnesses, is that the grief is not only for what you lost, it is for the years you spent believing something that was never there. That is a different kind of loss, and it takes a different kind of time. The second time, I told myself I was wiser. I watched more carefully. I said less. I listened for things that were not being said. I remember a Sunday afternoon. The light was coming through the window the way it does in late autumn, low and golden, and already a little sad. He was reading. I was watching him, and I thought, this time it is real. I held on to that Sunday for years after it was gone. There is a reason people trust again after being broken. It is not stupidity. It is not weakness. It is the only thing that allows a person to keep living forward instead of standing still inside what was done to them. When the second betrayal came, it did not arrive with a single moment. It arrived the way cold arrives in a house, slowly, through the walls, until one day you realize you have been shivering for a long time and simply stop noticing. I had been shivering for 2 years before I admitted it to myself. After the second time, there was no one coming. I want you to understand what that means, not as a sentence, but as a morning, as a Monday, as a school run and a grocery list and a broken boiler and a parent-teacher meeting, all arriving at once with no one to call. I became very good at mathematics in those years, not the kind they teach, the kind where you calculate. If I pay this today, what goes unpaid until Thursday? If I sleep 4 hours, will I function tomorrow? If I let my children see that I am frightened, what will that cost them later? I remember sitting at the kitchen table, the same kitchen, at 2 in the morning. The house was completely quiet, and I looked at a column of numbers, and I thought, no one is coming. And then I picked up the pen, and I kept going. I kept going, not because I was strong. I kept going because my children were asleep upstairs, and they needed someone to still be at that table in the morning. That is not heroism. That is just what some women do, quietly, without anyone watching, without anyone ever asking how they managed. Nobody prepares you for the silence that comes after the children leave. Not the leaving itself, that is expected, that is right. Children are supposed to leave. It is the particular quality of the silence that follows, that no one warns you about. The phone that does not ring on a Sunday. The birthday that passes with a message, not a call, a message. The feeling of walking through rooms full of things that belong to a life that no longer needs you inside it. I remember the first Christmas alone. I had set the table. I do not know why. Old habit. And then I sat down, across from the empty chairs, and I thought about every meal I had ever made, every school morning, every night I had stayed up with a fever that was not mine. And I thought, was none of it enough? There is a particular cruelty in that question that no one talks about, because to ask it out loud sounds like you are asking your children to owe you something, and that is not what the question is. The question is only this: did I matter? I have learned that question has no answer. That comes from the outside. I waited a long time for one. it did not come. Something else had to answer it instead. I am 85 years old now. I have been betrayed by 2 men I chose to love. I have been left by children I gave everything to. I have sat alone in rooms that once held voices. I have looked at my own hands at the end of a long day and wondered what any of it was for. And I am still here. Not because I am strong. I want to be very clear about that. I have never been comfortable with that word, strong. It asks women to be proud of surviving things they should never have been asked to survive alone. I am here because something in me kept choosing the next morning. Every morning. Even the mornings when there was no reason to. If you have been carrying the weight I have been describing, the kind that sits quietly inside you, that other people walk past without noticing, that you stopped trying to explain a long time ago, then I want you to hear this. You did not survive all of that by accident. Something in you decided, again and again, in kitchens at 2 a.m, across tables set for people who did not come, through silences that no one else could hear, through mornings that asked everything of you and offered nothing back. Something in you kept saying yes to the next hour. That is not nothing. That is not small. Old age came for me. It found me still at the table. I do not think it was expecting that. I want to be honest with you before we finish. The loneliness did not go away. I will not tell you that it did. The silence in this house is still real. But somewhere, I cannot tell you exactly when, the silence changed. It stopped feeling like something was missing. It started feeling like something I had earned the right to finally sit inside without apology. You did not come here to be told it gets easier. I know that. You came because you needed someone to sit with you inside what it actually is. I hope that is what this was. Before I go, I want to say this clearly. Everything in this video comes from personal experience and personal reflection only. It is not medical advice, financial guidance, or professional counsel of any kind. I am not a doctor, a therapist, a financial advisor, or a legal professional. I am simply someone who has lived through something real and chosen to speak about it honestly. If you are facing serious challenges, please reach out to a qualified professional who can support you directly. The stories on this channel are meant only to offer honest company, a sense that you are not entirely alone in what you are carrying. Take whatever feels true. Leave whatever does not. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. If something in this video finally gave words to something you have been carrying alone, that is exactly what this channel exists to do. There are more honest conversations like this one coming. I would genuinely love for you to be part of them. Subscribe below.